Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. My name is Shanda and welcome to my channel, you guys. If you are here for the first time, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, or if you don't enjoy it, I hope you at least give it a chance. If you guys are returning to my channel, thank you guys so much for returning to my channel. I love you guys so much. I appreciate it so much and it means so much to me. Today, I want to talk about the real Amber Heard, because we've watched Amber Heard on the stand for several days now. If you cut out like the week the trial was at a standstill, we've watched her and her act for several days. Now, I wholeheartedly believe that Amber Heard is giving her performance of a lifetime, the same thing that Johnny Depp's legal team said. But I wholeheartedly believe that Amber Heard is treating her time on the stand, her testimony on the stand, like an acting gig, like an acting role. I believe she researched the role. I believe she did research on battered woman syndrome. I believe she did research on rape trauma syndrome. I believe she did research on PTSD. And I believe she rehearsed her testimony over and over and pretty much almost memorized it. I believe all of those things with my whole heart. If you watch her, you can tell she is acting, oh my Lord, she is acting so bad, by the way, and so over the top. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But the jury has been seeing her act for a while now, so I thought it would be fun to take that mask off a little bit, and let's take a look at the real Amber Heard. So why don't you guys sit back, relax, and let's pull that mask off. Okay, you guys, so in this video, I want to go through some rarely seen footage of the deposition Amber Heard gave about her divorce. Now, Johnny's attorneys is talking to Amber about her committing domestic violence against her ex, Tasha Van Ray. So this footage hasn't been seen a lot. It was very, very hard to find, and I can't believe I haven't seen it before. But when I saw this, I was like, oh my Lord, we have got to talk about this. So let's go ahead and go through this this footage. I will be pausing it here and there to give some of my thoughts, but I will try to not pause it too much. But I will be going through and giving my thoughts, and I will also link the video down below so you can watch it in its entirety as well.
Isn't it true that you've been previously arrested for committing domestic violence against your spouse?
I'm going to
I already want to pause it right there, you guys, because look at her smile that she gives. Like, she's already like, you bitch. Like, that's what it looks like to me. And I'll slow it down for you guys.
I'm going to
She just looks so awful, just so evil, you guys, so evil.
relevant, harassing, has nothing to do with this proceeding. It's argumentative. Go ahead and explain how you want to.
There was no domestic violence within that relationship, and the state of Washington, where I was arrested, immediately dropped the charges because they knew the exact same thing that I just told you, that no domestic violence ever occurred. And my ex has stated such. In fact, it was so ridiculous, those charges. It was a verbal argument, it was misinterpreted, misrepresented, and completely overreacted upon by two individuals in a power position. And as soon as they found out that we were partners, which we were not going to be arrested for before, as soon as they found out we were partners, the male cop, not this other woman who's later been brought into the press, this male cop put me in handcuffs, and that's there was no physical violence, no physical abuse, and zero domestic violence whatsoever between us. It was a trumped up charge, and it was dropped immediately for being such.
I want to stop it here for two reasons. One, Did you guys see that shitty ass condescending smile that she gave her as such? And then 2, because what she's saying is not true. They did not drop the charges immediately. She actually spent the night in jail, and the only reason why they dropped the charges is because she didn't live in that state. So, yeah, let's continue.
The fact, Ms. Heard, that in fact on September 24th, 2009, you were arrested for domestic violence committed against Tasha Van Ray.
Asked and answered. Is that what you just talked about?
Did I miss something?
Isn't it a fact?
Oh my God, she is just such a bitch. I would hate to argue with this woman. No wonder Johnny never says anything to her. Now wonder, in all this audio that we've been hearing in the trial, a lot of people online are like, why is he not arguing back? Why is he not saying, I absolutely didn't hit you. What are you talking about? Well, I know I don't know. Is there even such a thing as battered man syndrome? I'm not sure, but this woman, look at her. She is awful. She would be horrible to argue with, and she's just nasty. She's disgusting, and I would hate to argue with her. If she was arguing with me, I would do the same exact thing. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. And he already said on the stand that, like, if he ever even tried to say something, it would turn into another 45-minute argue about that minute detail. So he just basically agrees with her and placates her. And she has insulted and belittled and beat him down so much over the years that he's just learned to just agree with what she has to say. And I believe that. Especially after seeing this, I definitely believe that. Let's continue.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that on September 14th, you were in fact taken to jail? It wasn't dropped immediately.
Same objections, Vegas.
Same objections.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that you spent the night in jail from September 14th to September 15th, 2009, as a result of your arrest for domestic violence?
Same objections. It's irrelevant.
Is that true?
Did you guys see that horrific death stare that she just gave his attorney? Let's watch again.
To September 15th, 2009, as a result of your arrest for domestic violence.
Same objections. It's irrelevant.
Is that true?
This woman literally, her energy just gives me the chills. It almost makes me sick. Let's continue.
352. She's already answered what happened. It's
Is that
vague.
true?
It's argumentative.
already-
It's harassing. You just want to, get your harassment in. Go ahead.
Let the record reflect Mr.
I just
Carter's
answered.
directing her not to answer. Did you
I
spend the night in
answered
jail?
you.
I answered you. Actually, guys, her asking about the domestic violence and then asking if she stayed the night in jail, 2 different questions. So no, you didn't answer her.
I never said don't answer. I never said that.
Reporter is about to.
That's not my fault.
Yes, it is.
Because she keeps cutting me off every time I say something.
There's no need to yell, Mr. Hardy.
Well, I have to be heard. Everyone's talking over me. You've got a whole wall of lawyers over there who are talking over me.
May I continue?
Except for Hans.
Can I say something?
Ms. Heard, isn't it a fact that Tasha Van Ray on September 14th, 2009 claimed to the police that you had hit her arm?
Same objection.
No?
I don't know anything about this.
She lied. She lied there, and then she had to clear it up. I don't know anything about this.
Give a full answer, please.
I don't know anything about the claim that you just made about what Tasha said or did not say. I can't possibly know that. I know nothing about what you just said.
I love how she's being such a condescending bitch, no offense, beforehand, but then when she gets caught in a lie, she's all of a sudden a little bit nicer. I couldn't possibly know that.
Isn't it a fact that on September 14th, you hit Tasha Van Ray in her arm?
No.
Isn't it a fact on September 14th, you broke the necklace off of Tasha Van Ray's neck?
352,
A
it's
necklace.
irrelevant to these proceedings. Argumentative, harassing.
Isn't it a fact that Tasha Van Ray reported to the police that you had hit her arm?
352, irrelevant, vague, argumentative, and harassing.
And speculation.
Isn't it a fact,
And speculation. The guy behind him.
Ms.
It's
Heard,
heard still.
that you know very well
It's hurt still.
that your spouse, that your domestic partner, Tasha Van Ray, requested that you be arrested for domestic violence?
Calls, you need to please let me get my objections in, okay? Please.
Okay.
He's like, don't say anything. Let me get my objections in because you're going to screw yourself because you're lying. Shush. Okay, so that is the end of that video, you guys. That video has been very rarely seen. I don't know why. It was actually really hard to find, but I thought that is a very great example of the real Amber Heard. Not this act that she's putting on the stand. This is the real her. So I thought that was a great example. Moving on. We're going to talk about 2 different Twitter threads that Christopher Melcher has made on Twitter. And Christopher Melcher is an attorney. He works in LA. He's a great attorney. He has his own YouTube channel. He's trying to get verified on Twitter. So if you guys like these threads, go follow him on Twitter at CA_divorce. He is an awesome attorney. He's worked a lot in the Free Britney movement. He's working a lot with this case. And he also does a lot of guest appearances on one of my favorite YouTube channels, Popcorn Planet, as well. So he's great. He's really smart, very knowledgeable. So if you like these Twitter threads, definitely go give him a follow on Twitter. But he made 2 threads that I think are ideal for showing the real Amber Heard. So the first one he made is about Amber Heard smuggling her dogs into Australia and lying about it. The second one is about her getting the restraining order. So let's go ahead and start with the Australian dog smuggle thing because that happened first. So let's go ahead and go through his thread. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Australia has been pursuing perjury charges against Amber because she lied to them, and then in the UK trial it came out that she lied to them. So now they are trying to get her for perjury because she made a fool out of them and they don't appreciate it.
I'm going to do this everywhere I go. I would really like to apologize for not smuggling my dogs into England because it would have been a bad thing to do.
So, just recently, Australia came out and said that they are still pursuing perjury charges against Amber Heard. And this is the start of his thread. So let's go ahead and go through it. Okay, so if you guys don't know, in 2015, Amber Heard wanted to take her and Johnny's 2 Yorkshire Terriers into Australia. It's a very long process to get your animals into Australia. Australia has very strict and strong biosecurity laws. They have a lot of animals and plants and stuff out there that need to be protected. They don't even have rabies out there, I think. So they definitely have these strong laws to keep all of their animals and plant life and stuff safe. So basically, it's like a 6-month process. Amber told Kevin Murphy, one of the assistants of Johnny's, that she wanted to take the dogs into Australia about a month before her flight into Australia. He started the paperwork. He found out there's no way it's going to be done in time. So he told her, like, look, it's not going to happen. We can't get it done in time. And here's Kevin Murphy and him saying he expressed concerns that it wasn't going to be done in time to Amber in person, over the phone, and emails. Amber asked if on several occasions if there's any other way. He investigated that, but saw that the dogs would have to fly on a flight in the cargo area. She refused to allow that, so they ran out of options. He said at this point he thought Amber was accepting the fact that there's nothing that can be done and she can't bring her dogs into Australia. He says also at no time did he ever discuss any of this with Johnny because Johnny never wanted the dogs to travel ever. He always thought that the dogs would be taken better care of at their home by their staff. So he never wanted them to travel anyway. So he never even talked about this with Johnny. He said upon getting to work the morning following their departure to Australia, he was shocked to learn that Amber had taken the dogs despite their discussions and warnings of severe legal ramifications. He said he spoke with Jerry Judge afterwards, who explained that Amber had insisted on bringing them to Australia, and he provided the exhibits of him talking to Jerry. He said he talked to Christy, Johnny's sister, and Stephen Duders, his assistant, and when they learned that Miss Heard had gone to Australia with the dogs. And he provided the messages between him and them as well. Because he basically said that he told her, you can't do it. She agreed, whatever. He then went to the house after they left and the dogs were gone. And he was like, you're kidding me. So Amber was caught. She wasn't able to smuggle them in. She was caught. And Australia threatened to euthanize the dogs unless they were removed immediately. And Amber was already warned of this consequence, that the dogs might be euthanized if she got caught, and she took them anyway. So yeah, that's real great, Amber, real great. So Johnny Depp had to hire a private jet to fly Boo and Pistol all the way back to Los Angeles, so they wouldn't be euthanized. And Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce then tweeted, "Dogs gone." After that, criminal charges were filed against Amber for the illegal import of animals and lying on the documents or having false or misleading documentation, which carried a potential prison sentence of 10 years. It's crazy. So they filed charges against Amber. Basically, not only did she sneak her dogs into Australia, but when she did her arrival paperwork, she lied on that paperwork and said she didn't have any animals with her when she did. As soon as they got to Australia, she tried to give the dogs real quick to somebody that came with them and tried to get them to go to the groomer real fast, but they were caught. So after this, Amber then tried to get out of it. Like, who can I blame? What should I do? Who can I blame for this? And then she's like, oh, I'll blame Kate James, my former assistant. So she talked to her lawyer, told her lawyer her idea, I guess. And here's some emails between her and her lawyer. I don't know how we have them. I don't know if it can be used in this case. Attorney-client privilege, I'm not sure. But we have them, so let's read them. So her lawyer here says, I don't know what your relationship with her is at the time since you fired her. At this time, since you fired her, you have to be careful that she will cooperate and not go public if you ask her not to be truthful. So Amber is basically saying she's going to ask her not to be truthful, and she's going to try and get her to lie for her and take the blame. Her lawyer then says, great, I will procure that statement ASAP and send it to you guys. Anything in specific that could be extra important or helpful, please let me know. If there's anything I should specifically ask for, I spoke to Kevin and he said that he sent you guys all the evidence of the dogs. There are numerous international travels. The only thing we're missing is evidence of the process being initiated, however not completed, and therefore the dogs weren't taken on the trip. That is harder to prove, obviously, since it involves documenting something that didn't happen. However, since I know we attempted to bring them at least once before on an Australian trip, I can ask Kate to include that in her statement if that will be helpful. So, Amber asked Kate to lie for her and take the blame, and Kate said no. So Amber now said, okay, who can I blame now? Okay, Kevin Murphy. So she tried to get Kevin Murphy to take the blame. Now, Kevin here says that Amber requested that I make a false statement regarding the dog's illegal entrance to Australia. When I expressed I was extremely uncomfortable with this, Ms. Heard said to me, quote, "Well, I want your help on this. I wouldn't want you to have a problem with your job," end quote. What a peach, isn't she, guys? It became very apparent to me that Amber was threatening my job stability unless I cooperated with providing a declaration that supported her false account for the Australian proceedings. I felt extreme pressure to cooperate despite knowing that it will involve being untruthful. So he's being, he's being truthful right now. He's saying, I did it. I knew I had to lie, but she threatened my job. So I felt pressure and I lied for her. So Kevin said on October 13th, he signed a declaration for the Australian proceedings that in which Amber brought her and Johnny's dogs into Australia. It was prepared by Amber's lawyer. It contained statements that were not entirely truthful. It was not true that Kate James, Miss Heard's former assistant was responsible for the paperwork and had not completed it, and that this was the reason why she traveled with the dogs without the necessary paperwork. The true position is that I was responsible for the paperwork, which I could not obtain in time, and Miss Heard was fully aware of this in advance, and she traveled with the dogs anyway. So now Amber Heard has the false statement in hand from Kevin Murphy, and she told Australia that she was distracted when she was completing her arrival form. So she didn't mean to lie that she didn't have any dogs. She was distracted. Yeah. Johnny was then dragged into this. He not only had to pay a fortune probably to get a private jet and fly the dogs back to Los Angeles, but he was dragged through the media for Amber doing this shit. And he also was forced to make an apology video with Amber. Now, that apology video has been referred to as the hostage video because it's so weird. But if you guys haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and play it for you.
Is that what the motivation for today's performance?
I want your performance today.
Australia is a wonderful island with a treasure trove of unique plants, animals, and people.
It has to be protected.
Australia is free of many pests and diseases that are commonplace around the world. That is why Australia has to have such strong biosecurity laws.
And Australians are just as unique, both warm and direct. When you disrespect Australian law, they will tell you firmly.
I am truly sorry that Pistol and Boo were not declared. Protecting Australia is important.
Declare everything when you enter Australia. Thanks.
So Amber was pretty much let off. She was just given a warning and slap on the wrist. Nothing happened to her. Later on, Kate James learned of everything and she was absolutely devastated. Now, Kate James says, I remember the huge uproar at the time. I was told that Johnny had to send the dogs back on a private jet, which probably cost a fortune from Australia. So she said she woke up one morning, months later, to find an email from her mother with an attachment of a newspaper article from her hometown. And she was devastated when she found out that Amber had blamed her in court for everything. I broke down in tears, she said, at the thought that she blatantly lied in court in my hometown and blamed me. Obviously, I knew that was a complete lie, and yet she had no problem in apparently perjuring herself in order to avoid responsibility. Of course. Why would she have a problem with perjury? So Christopher Melcher also included a audio piece in his thread that we're going to listen to. And in this piece, Amber is blaming Johnny for the whole dog incident. Basically, it's all his fault. And Johnny doesn't stand up for himself, which I talked about earlier, why I don't think he stands up for himself. But he did say, get out of my life. Which again, like I said, gives me more validation of him not standing up for himself ever with her just constantly belittling him and insulting him, and instead of trying to fight her on this one detail, like, it's not my fault, yes it is, it's not my fault, yes it is, he's just like, whatever, like, he just placates her and just agrees with everything she says so she'll stop yelling at him. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to this audio, but before we do, let's remember that Amber said on the stand over and over again that she constantly had to walk on eggshells around Johnny. He could just go off any moment and freak out on her, and she was scared, and she didn't want to be hurt, and she was feared for her life, and she was petrified all the time, and blah, blah, blah. Well, let's listen to the audio and see if we think that's true by the way she is talking to him and belittling him and insulting him. Doesn't really seem like she is afraid of him, so let's check it out.
So, let's talk about how much you fucking helped me, mister. I had it all figured out because I didn't do stupid movies ever. I didn't ever make a mistake. I did perfect.
Let's not talk about how completely wasted Amber sounds. She sounds like she is completely drunk or high or both. And I find it very ironic how she's always blaming Johnny, saying that he was drunk or high, or he's so horrible because he's on drugs or drunk. Listen to her. She's completely wasted.
All the time. Oh no! At least you didn't do a movie where you were like,
get out, man. You're belligerent.
Yeah, you got it all figured
You're
out.
belligerent,
You
man.
didn't do Magic Mike. You fucking got it all figured out, man. You just did TV shows and fucking whatever movies. You did it all right, Sensei, or fucking master of fucking cinema. God, if ever I could be so perfect.
No, I did what you did, but I
since you did all
better.
that shit, thanks.
Hold on. You see how he tried to say, I did what you did, but I did it better. She didn't even let him say that. So no wonder he doesn't ever talk or defend himself, because whenever he does try to say anything, she just starts yelling over him.
For helping me with my thing that you got me in trouble with. Thanks. Let me take the rap for that, and then not help me.
Got you in trouble
Yeah,
with?
thanks, big man. Big man.
What was
big
it?
Big fucking man.
What did I get you in trouble with?
Big man.
You don't even know.
Our dogs that you brought into the country with me for your movie on your fucking plane, and then you let your fucking wife take all the shit for it. Thanks. Oh, just like the home wrecker shit that you never fucking rectified.
Get out of my fucking life.
You're a coward. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Don't.
And you fucking go suck my fucking dick like everyone else who fucking sucks yours. Go fucking suck my dick. You fucking cowardless, ballless piece of shit.
Okay, you're telling me that this man beats her up constantly and she's always afraid for her life, but she's talking to him like this and he's calm as a cucumber, just like, get out of my life. If she was a real victim, she would not be talking to her abuser like that. She knows that he won't hit her, and that's why she talks to him like that all the time.
I want nothing to do with
I don't want anything to fucking do with you. You don't want fucking something to do with you. You think I want that fucking old ass fucking piece of shit? Fuck you. You're a fucking joke, man. And you're an embarrassment that I even came here and wasted my time trying to get you back.
Good. Go deal with that. Watch that wide load, bro.
What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
I was thinking that poor little Amber, all she wanted to do.
No, I want to hear what else.
Hey, what was the posters on your wall when you were a kid?
Rosie the fucking Riveter. What were yours? Rosie the Riveter too? Or you want to know because you're interested in me?
I think Mom had some different ideas of what you have.
Ask her. Call her. Call her. Let's see what she says. I want to know.
I've spoken to her.
Ask her. Ask her. Call her right now. No, I think you should. She's out.
I really hope they can play this audio in court, because wow. So after that, Amber continues to travel with her dogs, and she continues to make light and make fun of the situation and mock Australia by acting like she is smuggling dogs into countries. And here she says, I guess some habits die hard, where she looks like she's sneaking her dog into somewhere. And for a final insult to Australia, Amber gets a new dog and names it after the politician who threatened to deport and euthanize her dogs, Barnaby Joyce. So she got this new dog here and named him Barnaby Joyce. How nice of Amber. So, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like her. But let's go ahead and get to the next thread that Christopher did. Now, this is about Amber's TRO, her restraining order that she got against Johnny. Now, I find this very interesting as well, and he makes some really, really good points. Now, I will link this thread in the description down below because there is a lot of personal accounts and like Amber's whole thing that she wrote on the restraining order, and we're not going to read through all of that because it'll make this video a lot longer. So I will link the thread though in the description box so you can go read it yourself if you'd like. But let's go ahead and get started. Now, as you all know, in May 2016, Amber filed for divorce. She also went and got a restraining order against Johnny. Now, here is the letter. I can't think. Here's the letter that her attorneys sent to Johnny's attorneys. Now, she's basically saying, you know, he hit her, he violently attacked her, blah, 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 and this isn't the first time. And she's not yet getting a TRO because she wants to keep it quiet and, you know, for Johnny, whatever. Amber wishes to work quickly and amicably and blah, blah, blah. And at the bottom here, they said they could have served him personally and they could have blah, 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 but they didn't because she wants it to be quick and quiet. And down here, it says that we're requesting that Amber get spousal support. She wants $50,000 a month. She wants possession of the Range Rover. And she also wants possession of Johnny's penthouses 1, 3, and 5. And she wants him to continue to pay the mortgage, utilities, everything, and let her and her friends live in those penthouses. She wants him to pay the attorney fees of $125,000. And by the way, they want that money within 3 days. And they believe this is going to be beneficial, blah, blah, blah. So that is what they sent to Johnny's attorneys. 2 days later, on May 26, 9:45 a.m., Amber's attorney noticed an emergency hearing for the next day at 10 a.m. Now, this is the only information that was given to Johnny's attorneys. It basically just says that we left a voicemail and Amber will be appearing ex parte tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. at the courthouse. She stated that she would be requesting a TRO against Johnny and spousal payment, the house, the penthouses, the car, and the dogs and attorney fees, blah, blah, blah. So this is the only thing that was actually sent to Johnny's attorneys. Now, remember, Johnny was in Spain on this day, so he had no chance of leaving to prepare for the hearing. He couldn't even get there in time. He was basically told 23 hours in advance. He probably couldn't even have got there, and he had no time to prepare for this hearing. And he was not a threat to Amber either because he wasn't even in the country, so she didn't need immediate protection either. Now remember, guys, the date that Amber picked for that ex parte hearing was 3 days after Johnny's mother died. It was his daughter's birthday. It was premiere of his movie, Alice Through the Looking Glass. So he could not drop everything and go all the way to LA to stand up for himself. Now, the restraining order application by Amber Heard makes absolutely no mention of the nightmarish bottle incident in Australia. She mentions only 3 incidences in April and May 2016 and alludes to other abuse that occurred in their relationship. So we can go ahead and read. One thing, here is the actual restraining order, but one thing that I do want to point out is it does say here, it says, was the police called? And she says, yes. I find that very, very fascinating because there is an amazing video from the YouTuber Incredibly Average, and he goes through the fact that they called the police that night. He goes through why he thinks they called the police, and what they were trying to do and why Amber really didn't cooperate with the police. It's not because she wanted to protect Johnny, but what they did was they called the police. Johnny came there, told her he wanted a divorce, and left. That's what he said happened. That's what all his people say happened. I believe that's what happened. But they're freaking out. Amber and her friends are freaking out now. He's going to take the penthouses. I mean, where are we all going to live? So they talk to her attorney, and they decide to call the police. They call the police, and all they need for a TRO is to say that the police have been called and have responded. But they don't want the police to actually come in to the residence or see Amber or anything, because details are hard to fake. So if they can just say that, yes, the police were called, yes, they responded, and get the TRO, that's all they wanted. But the police insisted on going inside, doing a walkthrough, and talking with Amber. Amber didn't want to talk to the police because she knew that what she was saying was fake, and she had to fake it, and she didn't want to fake these details. She knew details would be hard to fake. Allegedly. Do I have to say allegedly? I don't know. Maybe still. But anyway, this video that he made is amazing. He went through like the 911 call. He went through her friend who supposedly called 911. He went through his phone records and a bunch of stuff. And it's an amazing video. I will link it down below as well. It is from Incredibly Average. But I just wanted to mention that also. So she said that the cops were called. Now she also says here everything that she wants that we already talked about. And then here is her declaration where she talks about her abuse from him. We don't really need to go through that. I mean, we know what she says. And there's also Raquel and her incident of whatever she says happened as well. And we all know that, you know, Raquel has no qualms of lying under oath either, and there's proof of that as well. I don't know if I have to say allegedly since there's proof, but I don't want to get sued, so allegedly. And so here I will link everything below so you can read it all. But continuing after this, after everything that they said, basically Christopher talks about how when you get a TRO in Los Angeles, and he has worked at this courthouse, he knows you don't have to be there in person. The person doesn't have to be there. When they typically do restraining orders in Los Angeles, these proceedings are heard on the papers in the judge's chambers. So you fill out all the paperwork, you write down everything that happened, and the judge takes it in chambers and she reads through it and she either approves or denies. And if she needs to talk to you, then she will schedule a time to do so. Now, this right here is from the Superior Court of Los Angeles, California, and it says the court may make emergency orders based on the documents submitted, or may set a hearing before ruling an ex parte application. So you only need to turn in the documents, and they will make their decision on those documents. But if they want to talk to you beforehand, they will schedule a hearing. The court will provide reasonable notice if a hearing needs to come about, and then you show up for the hearing. But you don't have to be there. That's a big thing. Amber did not have to be at court that day. So why was she there? That's what I want to know. Why was she actually there if she didn't have to be? So Christopher says here that calling the media to create a spectacle is inconsistent with someone needing protection. If Johnny were dangerous, as Amber claimed, she would have called the police, not the media. So basically, the media was called, okay? The media was called. They were there. Amber even said on the stand yesterday that when she came out, there was just more media, more paparazzi than she's ever seen in her life. Somebody called them. The court certainly didn't do it, because when you do your restraining order, it's just all in paper. The court doesn't know who's on the docket. The court doesn't know who's requesting, because it's not actually on the docket. You're just going through the paperwork. The court didn't know Amber Heard was going to be there. So they certainly didn't leak it. Johnny's team certainly didn't leak it. He doesn't want that kind of media. The only people left is Amber and her friends and lawyers team. Amber gets the restraining order and walks out the front doors of the courthouse. This is really important too, because this court is in Los Angeles. There is tons of celebrities and high-profile people that go to this court all the time, probably. So this court has an underground entrance and a side escape entrance available for high-profile parties. Amber uses the front door. She doesn't have to be there that day. The media somehow knows it, and she uses the front door to walk out and pose for all the cameras with this bruise on her right cheek. Now, this picture is widely spread around the world. We have seen it a million times. That is the picture. But the very next day, on May 28th, these two pictures were taken of Amber. Now, I don't know about you, but she doesn't look like she has any makeup on in this picture, to me. Now, Amber's entire defense is she does makeup so good that you can't tell she has any injuries to her face because her makeup is so good. Well, if you look at the picture that was broadcasted around the world, she looks like she's not wearing makeup. But in this picture that was taken yesterday, or not yesterday, the day after, she also looks like she's not wearing makeup. She looks the same. But the bruise has magically disappeared, which is very, very intriguing. Very fascinating to me. I don't know. Maybe she used the magical Amica cream, you guys. Maybe she did. I mean, I'm sure that would take care of the bruise instantly. But then it comes back the next day somehow. I don't know. Very, very interesting to me. So after all of this, Johnny sees what's going on, and of course he is hurt, he's devastated, and he texts Amber's father. And Amber's father responds with, quote, "The lawyer told her she had to or she would have no place to live in 30 days, end quote. To which Johnny then replied, quote, "That is absolute bullshit. Her lawyer asked for 2 weeks at the downtown place and I said no. She could stay there as long as she likes. Why would I force her out in 2 weeks? I ain't no scumbag. Dude, my fucking wedding ring is still on me. I had not taken it off because I love her. It is coming off now. What a fucking knife to the back. I'm so disappointed and so hurt. It's just too much. Later, brother. Feel better. JD." Now, this picture right here is the actual screenshot of Amber's dad saying that the lawyer told her she had to. Now, moving on from that, Johnny also messaged her mother because he was so upset. Now, in this message, he says, "If she didn't want to file a restraining order against me and send a message to the world that I am some kind of violent wife beater, then why would she go to the courthouse with a photo of her that looks like she's been abused? This is my life too. What are my children and my children's friends supposed to think? I do not deserve this, and they do not deserve this, especially not from her." Now, he's basically saying, if she doesn't want me to look like a wife beater, why would she go to court with a photo that looks like she's been abused? So he's basically like, I didn't do that. Like, you could see the confusion here. And her mom says her lawyer told her she had to, and she had to today. That is why she wanted to talk to you. She didn't talk, we didn't talk, so please never bring this up. But I'll swear to you this is not her idea, nor did she do it willingly or happily. She was told it was her only option to not being kicked out. I'm not making excuses, but that is what she believed. She did not want to do it. She felt she was betraying her only love, but the lawyers said so. Honestly, I feel like her parents believe this. I feel like this is some bullshit lie that she told her parents so they wouldn't be mad at her for doing this to Johnny, because they knew Johnny didn't do this to her. So she lied and said this, and they believe it. Her mom continues, "Please don't pass this on if you ever talk to Amber again. I love you, son." She continues again, "Please, please don't use what I've told you from my heart against me." And again, "Please." It's so weird to me how her mom is just begging Johnny not to say anything and just begging him not to say anything to Amber. It's weird to me because it seems like her mother is even afraid of her, which is funny because we were told that Amber treats her sister and her mother terribly, and they were afraid of her. So it seems like she's afraid of her, which, I mean, yeah, I would be. Geez. It's just weird. If Johnny really did beat up her daughter, would she be talking to him like that? I don't think so. So after this, Amber got so much negative media attention for all of the financial stuff that she wanted that she decided to drop her request for the spousal support and the trying to get the penthouses, which good, because you don't deserve it. And also, Christopher included that Amber's lawyer, who was with her during these restraining order hearings and stuff, Joseph Koenig, he has a disciplinary record with the state bar, including actual suspension for acts involving moral turpitude. Moral turpitude. I remember where I've heard that before. Yesterday when I read this, I was like, I kept thinking, where is that from? Do you guys remember the movie Porky's? Where Miss Ballbreaker is trying to get the gym teachers fired because the woman and man gym teacher were doing it above the gym and all the kids heard them. So she's trying to get her fired for moral turpitude. That's kind of fun. That's where I've heard that. It's basically doing things that's not, good. But anyway, here's his record. And he's not eligible to practice law in California, disciplined with actual suspension in 2001. Disciplinary charges filed in the state bar as well. So, yeah, that's interesting. So that is the second thread that I wanted to go through, and there's just a few more things I wanted to point out before we go. One is this picture of Amber's missing hair. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even bring it up, but it's bothering me. Look how big this picture is of this hair. It's like that much hair. Amber's hair is super long. It's always been super long. And if your hair was ripped out of your scalp from the root, it wouldn't be this much. And look, if you look at the hair right there by her finger, look how straight that is. It literally looks like she cut a chunk of her hair out and put it on the ground and took a picture of it. That's what that looks like to me. Like 100%, I swear, that is exactly what that looks like. One more thing I want to talk about is Amber has walked by Johnny Depp this entire trial, back and forth, when she's getting up and down off the stand every day. She has walked by him with not a care in the world anytime. I have a couple examples of that. Let's watch. See, not a care in the world walking by him. But then, on this day, when she tells her horror stories and the jury is still there to see her, she has to put on a huge act. Look at this. Did you guys see that? Let's play it again and slow it down a little bit, because that's hilarious. I can't help it. She's literally like, like, oh my God. That is absolutely ridiculous. I can't stand it. It's just like the one day she was crying and they kept catching her cry, and a minute later she's laughing with her attorneys over there, and then this. Look at this one where she is on the stand and she goes to wipe her tears that are not there. She hasn't been able to shed one tear this entire time on the stand, but she looks up at her at the photographer and then poses for the picture. Watch.
Put me up in this room in this hotel while he finished the process of detox in LA, and I had my friends out with my girlfriends there to support me as per usual.
So Michelle, can you pull up 272, please? And after you both returned to LA.
Yeah, let's play that again. She looks up, spots the photographer, then holds the pose.
And after you...
And she thinks people are going to believe her shit? This is ridiculous. And then, the next day, she goes outside and she almost gets into Johnny's car on accident. And they laugh about it. Like, it's so hilarious. They laugh about it, and her lawyer goes, that would have been interesting. And she's like, yeah, ha, ha, ha.
Thanks so much for all your help. No problem. Thanks for the recommendation. No problem. Oh, not our car, not our car. I don't know what. It's right here. I'm just gonna get it. That would have been interesting. Yeah. I'm just gonna get it. That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting.
Look how hard she is laughing about almost getting into his car. If he beat you and did all of the horrible things you just said he did on the stand, and then you accidentally almost got into his car, would you be laughing like that? I don't think so. Anyway, you guys. Anyway, those are just some examples that I wanted to use and show you guys today to take off Amber's ridiculous mask that she has been wearing on the stand for weeks and show the world the real Amber Heard. So they started the cross-examination of Amber yesterday. It was great. I can't wait to see the rest of it. I've been waiting for this cross-examination for weeks, you guys. And oh my God, I love how she started talking about the makeup and she's like, yeah, it wasn't this exact palette. Really? Because you guys said in your opening statements it was this exact palette. Are you sure it's not because Milani Cosmetics called you guys out and said that that thing wasn't even in existence yet? You sure that's not why you're like, oh, it's not this exact palette? Yeah. Anyway, that is everything. I'm going to try to shut my mouth because I got so much to say about this woman, you guys. But that is everything for today. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I just spit everywhere. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. It helps out so much, you guys. You don't even know. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you in the family. And I will continue to bring you guys coverage on this trial, and we'll get through this trial, and hopefully we get justice for Johnny Depp, because This is absurd. I can't believe he's had to deal with this for this long. I feel so bad for him. Hopefully he can move on. And even if he loses, you guys, I think the best thing for him is to get this trial televised so everybody can see everything. So even if he loses, I mean, everybody can see, you know. But anyway, definitely let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And like I said, I'll link all that stuff down below for you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you watching this video. And I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, guys, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind to each other. Love you guys. Bye.